Right, so I'm gonna go ahead and install this this link bolt. Looking at the Haynes diagram, I'm missing a few parts, but that's completely fine. So looking at it here, we have this metal plate, and we're gonna attach it to this little arm on the float chamber, and it's gonna go there. You'll notice in my first video where I went over the carburetor kit, there's two hairpins. I found out where they go. I'm not going to replace them just because I don't feel the need to. But one goes on the end of here, so you can take this little assembly off, and one goes behind there. How you get behind there, I'm not really too sure, but that is where they reside in this. So putting on this link bolt, yeah, I'm missing a few parts. I'll take you with the parts I have. I'm not really concerned about the missing parts. It was working fine before. So I'm just going to say in this little plate, there's a gold ring. Just kind of fits in there. It's a cylinder. It's about half a centimeter thick. Yeah, so that sits in the actual bracket, or the little plate. So putting fitting this plate back to the float chamber hole. First of all, I have this, which I've polished this little bolt, and on top of that goes a plastic washer. So fit the plastic washer over the bolt, and we have that. Right, next is a plastic washer. So looking at the way it goes male into the plate, male end into the plate. So it fits up right flat against that washer we just put on. And then for me, this is just going through the plate. Right, so I'm just going to stick that in that hole, but we have another part yet to come. And then, for me, behind that plate, I have a gold washer. I'm not sure if this has just come off with age or if this is separate, but I have a gold washer. I'm going to fit that to the back of the screw and put it in the hole. So just to let you know, yeah, I am missing a few parts. I think before that gold washer, there should be another male plastic, kind of plastic washer thing, and then that gold washer, then a split ring. I don't have the secondary male plastic thing or the split ring. I say split ring, I actually think it's a spring washer. Maybe this area is prone to vibration. But I'm completely content just going ahead with this. I don't feel the need to order new parts. I'm just going to fit that in there. Anti-seized it. And in that goes. Just on this part before I move on, so there is this kind of throttle action spring here. Before putting that onto the bike, I am going to grease this spring. It was greased before. The ultrasonic cleaning is kind of taking the grease off. There's also this black adjuster here. I'm gonna grease that spring too. I might grease the spring behind there. There's three springs I can see here. I might grease all of them just to maintain the longevity. I don't know where you get replacements from, but I'm just trying to look after these ones. They look like they've got plenty of life left in them, so I'm not too concerned. So that is the link bolt. Right, now we have this little diaphragm here. So it connects to the float chamber. Right. So I'm using three M4 by 10 bolts to fix this on. I have a spring here which goes on top of the diaphragm. There's this little black boot that I've just replaced, fixed over the gold tunnel. The diaphragm pin goes through it. Right, so what do I need to say here? Yeah, the spring was quite corroded. I've gone over that with some aluminum foil. Aluminum gets rid of rust. It looks fairly new, fairly springy. I'm happy with it. Let's get that fixed on. So we have the diaphragm and the pin. I'm gonna say the actual pin of this was quite corroded when I took it off. It's seen better days. The middle section here was quite corroded, just about two fingers width. Polished that with Autosol. It looks fine. Looks absolutely fine. I'm just gonna say with Autosol, just ensure, you shouldn't really polish internal parts. After polishing it, just go over it with some toilet paper. Ensure that no black's coming off. There's that black residue Autosol leaves. I think it's just the grime coming off. Just ensure nothing's coming off of that, and we can fit that back on. This is the accelerator pump diaphragm, I do believe. It's a good little feature. A lot of aftermarket carburetors don't come with an accelerator pump diaphragm. Then that pin goes through that boot on that tube. Let's fit this on. So the main issue with this one is that, so let's put the spring on top of the diaphragm. The main issue with this one is there's no grooves in the actual chamber. You've got to hold it down while you're placing it on. This chamber, when I took it off, it was rusted, getting kind of corroded inside. Aluminum foil again. Then I took it to get ultrasonically cleaned. That's looking fine again. Still a bit dirty, but not fussed. So there's 3 screws on this one. I'm just gonna say, push it down, line it up perfectly before putting anything in. It's kind of hard to keep in place because of that spring. But just press down on the top. Oh, fuck's sake. This is the most fiddly part. The M4 anti-seize screws go in. Do the 2 furthest apart first. Do them by finger. Wiggle it about while you're putting it in, just so you can find the kind of central place it needs to be. You don't want to force a thread inside the chamber. And that is that on. I'm just going to go over one last part. I'm not going to screw this down just yet. I'll just take you over the last part I feel is completely necessary for this tutorial. Then in a few later videos, I'll go over hoses and just other extra parts that other people have been struggling with. So this will kind of be the last video to rebuild the carburetor. So we have this last diaphragm left, the large one, the main one. Right. So I'm just gonna say this diaphragm cover responds really well to autosol. Look how shiny that is. It wasn't coming off, but after the ultrasonic cleaning, the grime, oil, dirt has just straight come off. I did actually order a new one of these off of eBay. I thought I ordered a new one of these off of eBay, but all that came was some bolts for it. It wasn't really too clear in the advertising. I'm not. I got eight M4 bolts for £6. I don't feel like I got scammed. Um, so I have some ones here. They've just come, and I told you these float chamber ones seem quite short. These are the ones for the float chamber. These are M4 by... Oh, these are M4 by 14. So if you're replacing the float chamber bolts, M4 by 14, this Biker Bling company feels like that's the good fit. I might actually replace those with the M4 by 14. They're M4 by 10 at the moment. So yeah, I didn't really need to buy a new one of these anyway. Now it's polished. It looks insane. It's the shiniest part on here now, whereas before it was the grimiest. I do think that's stainless steel. Right. So for this diaphragm, it's probably best to show you through this hole. So we have the diaphragm. There's a pin. Then you have this diaphragm body, this black thing with a red ring around it, and you have this little ring. That's all one part. Then you stick that new pin through the hole up here, and there's a little a spring bolt, a bolt, kind of plastic bolt with a spring on it. You need to get it on the end of a screwdriver and just screw it inside the grooves. I'm not going to do it now just because I've nearly stripped it. nearly stripped it trying to get it back on, so I'm not going to do that again. So to show you what's going on here, the diaphragm goes through into that little gold thing inside the carb. Can you see that? That goes in there. So, yep, that little pin has gone into that tube. Right, and then let me just wash my hands quick. So inside the diaphragm goes the spring, this large spring again of aluminum foil. This one's in a lot worse condition than the accelerator pump diaphragm spring. But yeah, I'm gonna use that. I've heard a lot of people complaining they couldn't find aftermarket diaphragms, especially for the accelerator pump. I had a look on eBay. I think it'd be fine to find a replacement. A lot of people just don't do the research. It's actually quite easy to find aftermarket parts for anything. Just use a if you still use a ruler, I'm pretty sure you can just replace this entire carb if you used a 28 millimeter 28 millimeter aftermarket single carburetor, put in some jets similar to the ones I put in and tuned it. Round body, no, sorry, round side or flat side. I think you could just replace the entire carburetor. But these Honda ones are quite good quality. Yeah. So yeah, diaphragm goes in there, spring on top. I'm just going to say with this, you need to ensure the spring is aligned to that thing. Another point to make is this can essentially be fastened down two ways. There's grooves on two bolts, two opposite bolts, and it looks like you can just fit it one of two ways, but there's actually a position that fits better than the other. Ensure that you're going for the position which just fits a tiny bit nicer. It covers a bit more of the edge, and that goes on there and is screwed down. I think I used M4 by 10 on this, and it looked a bit. No, sorry. M4 by 10 works absolutely fine on this. It doesn't leave any kind of excess hanging off of there. So that I'm not going to put the bolts on now. I've got a bit of extra stuff to do. That is the entire carburetor rebuilt. So yeah, in my next video, hopefully, I've got my new air filter, new pipes. I'll show you where the hoses and air filter goes. I'm probably gonna replace my airbox as well. We'll just get rid of the airbox. Got new hoses. I'm just gonna route the puke tubes to the bottom of the bike and replace the fuel hoses. So if you're looking to rebuild the car, that's it complete. That's everything I can show you. Yeah, if you need any more help, I'll have some follow-up videos.